In the land of Egypt, Pharaoh ruled with a proud heart. God's people, the Israelites, were trapped in slavery, groaning under heavy burdens. But God had not forgotten them. He called a man named Moses, a former prince turned shepherd, and his brother Aaron, to deliver a message to Pharaoh. One day, as Moses was tending his father-in-law's sheep, he saw a bush that was on fire, yet it wasn't burning up. He decided to go closer and see this strange thing that was happening. When he got closer, God told him to remove his sandals, for the place he was standing was holy. God sent him to Pharaoh with this message: "Let my people go, that they may serve me." With trembling hearts but divine confidence, Moses and Aaron stood before the king. But Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he laughed at the idea of letting Israel go. So God sent signs, 10 powerful plagues, not just to break Pharaoh's pride, but to show Egypt that there is only one true God. First, Aaron was told by God to throw his staff down, and it became a snake. Pharaoh's wise men, magicians, and sorcerers also threw their staffs down. They turned into snakes, but Aaron's staff swallowed their staffs. But this didn't move Pharaoh's heart. He refused to let Israelites go. Water turns to blood. Aaron struck river Nile as God had commanded him, and the water turned to blood. Fish died, the river stank, and the people had no water to drink. But Pharaoh's heart remained stubborn. He refused to let Israelites go. The plague of frogs. After 7 days, Aaron stretched his staff over streams, canals, and ponds, and frogs came up. Frogs swarmed the land, in houses, beds, ovens. Egypt was overwhelmed. Pharaoh begged for relief, but changed his mind as soon as the frogs were gone. He refused to let Israelites go. The plague of gnats. God commanded Aaron to stretch his staff and strike the dust. Dust turned into gnats. Tiny and relentless, they covered people and animals. Even Pharaoh's magicians said, "This is the finger of God." Still, Pharaoh would not let Israelites go. The plague of flies. God sent swarms of flies all over Egypt. They filled every Egyptian home, but not a single one touched the land of Goshen, where the Israelites lived. God was making a distinction. The plague of livestock death. God caused death on horses, donkeys, camels, herds, and flocks. That belonged to Egyptians. Yet again, not one of Israel's animals was harmed. But still, Pharaoh remained unmoved. The plague of boils. Moses tossed soot into the air as God had commanded him, and it became fine dust all over Egypt. Painful sores broke out on man and beast. Still, Pharaoh refused to let Israel go. The plague of hail. Moses stretched his hands to the sky. Thunder rolled, and hail fell like never before. Crops were destroyed, trees shattered. But in Goshen, no hail fell. Pharaoh still hardened his heart. The plague of locusts. Moses stretched his staff over Egypt, and a black cloud of locusts swarmed all over the land, day and night. They devoured whatever the hail had left. Egypt was ruined. Pharaoh called for Moses, but again, his heart grew hard after relief came. The plague of darkness. Moses stretched his hands towards the sky, and total darkness fell in Egypt for 3 days. No one could see the other or move about. Yet in the homes of the Israelites, there was light. But Pharaoh still refused to let Israelites go. The plague of death of the firstborn. The Israelites were commanded by God to slaughter 1-year-old lambs for each family. They were to roast the whole lamb, eat the meat with bitter herbs, and bread without yeast. The lamb's blood was smeared on the sides and tops of their door frames. At midnight, every Egyptian firstborn, young and old, died. From the palace to the prison, sorrow filled the land. Only the homes with lamb's blood on the doorposts, where God's people obeyed, were spared, and this was called the Passover. Finally, Pharaoh called Moses and said, "Go, take your people, serve the Lord." The Israelites were finally free to leave Egypt and go back to their land. God had shown his might, not just in judgment, but in mercy. He proved that he alone is God, and he always hears the cry of his people. If you were inspired by this story of God's power and faithfulness, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more Bible stories every week. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.